What is going on, everyone? Luca Rosano here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well on this fine Saturday. As we already know, the Toronto Raptors are going to the playoffs, and I've been seeing a lot of people say in some of the videos in the comments, Luca, where have you been? How come you haven't been live streaming a whole ton this season? I've been very busy this season, guys. I've been working with a sports media betting company called The Parlay, which has allowed me to do so many cool things in the field, in the industry of sports media. I mean, just the other night, I was opening for Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. And for those of you who follow me on my social media platforms, you would have saw the picture that I did take with Danny Green. I was able to meet him and Chris Boucher. So I've been doing a lot of work with them and trying to juggle uploading on YouTube, and it's been pretty hard for me to go live every single game like I used to. However, with that being said, I will be returning to my live streams with the playoffs on the horizon. So yes, playoff live streams are back. I still have to figure out if I'm going to wear the pink shirt or not. For those of you who have been following me on this channel for a while now, you would know that pink shirt brought the Raptors a whole ton of luck in the playoffs in the past couple of playoff seasons that they've had. So I will be live streaming with the NBA playoffs around the corner, so don't you worry. We're going to have a great time. And what we still got to figure out is who the Raptors are going to play in the first round of the playoffs. And last time I checked, the Sixers were beating the Pacers pretty handily. So it's going to come down to the final day of the regular season for us Raptors fans to know which team the Raptors are going to go up against. It's either going to be the Philadelphia 76ers or the Boston Celtics, but the Raptors are locked into that 5th seed, so they will start the playoffs on the road. But you better believe when they're back for Game 3 at Scotiabank Arena is going to be popping. It is going to be electric. Inside of the building, outside of the building, with Jurassic Park going crazy. We already know the Raptors back where they belong in the playoffs for the 8th time in 9 seasons. A lot of people saying we're not going to count that Tampa season. I'm okay with that. But here's the reality of the situation. This season in particular, the Toronto Raptors proved a lot of people wrong. You look at this team coming into the season, there were a lot of naysayers and a lot of people did not have this team making the playoffs. And you look at what the Raptors have done in the new year in particular, they have been one of the best teams in all of the NBA. They have been remarkable, and they have turned their season around. The Raptors are 33-16 since the new year. And who would have thought that the Raptors would have leapfrogged the Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls with the way things have started? And here the Raptors are ahead of both those teams and the Brooklyn Nets, who will be playing in the play-in. Crazy. But going back to those non-believers of the Toronto Raptors, you look at ESPN in particular, they ranked the Raptors as the 20th best team in the NBA and the 11th best team in the East. So they did not have the Raptors even making the play-in. Now, I had the Raptors making the playoffs via the play-in. So they proved me wrong in a sense when I didn't think this team was going to be a top 5 team. So whoever had the Raptors as a top 5 team, kudos to you, because not a lot of people saw this coming. I mean, there were many other experts and analysts out there who didn't even have the Raptors making the playoffs or play-in. That just tells you how much this team was written off going into the season. So they proved all the people wrong who did not have them making the playoffs, because the Raptors are not only in the playoffs, but they are guaranteed a full playoff series in that top 6 at that number 5 seed in particular. But let's look at some individuals on this Raptors team who proved a lot of people wrong. And we're first going to start with Scotty Barnes. Now, a lot of people were shocked initially at the pick, myself included, when it was told to us by many who cover the Raptors closely that the Raptors were going to go with Jalen Suggs as the guy who was going to replace Kyle Lowry. So when the Raptors drafted Scotty Barnes, there was a lot of unknown. We didn't know what we were going to expect, but we trusted in Masai, Bobby Webster, and this Raptors organization. And what I'll say is this: I'm glad they were the ones making this decision. And they were the ones who drafted Scotty Barnes, who has been such a great surprise. He has been so good. Nobody expected Barnes to be this good this early into his career. He should win Rookie of the Year. He's my pick to win it. And Scotty Barnes in his first season with the Toronto Raptors looks like a veteran type player. Looks like a guy who could reach the stars as the guy on this Raptors team, as a superstar type player in the future. The sky is truly the limit with Barnes. He is the first and only rookie this season to have 1,000 plus points, 500 plus rebounds, and 250 plus assists, and just the 23rd rookie ever to do it. And the last 3 rookies to do this won Rookie of the Year, and that was Luka Doncic, Ben Simmons, and Blake Griffin. Scotty Barnes deserves to win Rookie of the Year. He has been unbelievable, especially in the second half of the season. So he proved a lot of people wrong who thought the Raptors got this one wrong initially. Then you look at a guy like Fred VanVleet. There was a lot of talk about Fred VanVleet going into the season. Was he going to be able to seamlessly run this team as well as Kyle Lowry has? Was he going to perform well in his first season where he was the floor general, where he was the leader? And you look at how VanVleet responded, it's been brilliant. Making his first ever All-Star team, putting up some of the best numbers of his career, and really showing everybody that he has what it takes to lead a team just as good, if not better, than what Kyle Lowry did while he was here in Toronto. And that's saying something. Kyle Lowry is the GOAT, but Fred VanVleet learned under his wing through all those years, and you're starting to see that rub off his game, and was a big reason why VanVleet took his game to the next level and made it to the All-Star team. Speaking of guys taking their games to the next level, how about Gary Trent Jr., who solidified this season that the Raptors got that trade right when they traded Norman Powell for Gary Trent Jr., who is still so young, so raw, but he already looks like a significant piece of this young Raptors core. Gary Trent Jr. did on both sides of the court this season, whether it was his brilliant run to start the new year, going off for those amazing stat lines, joining the likes of DeMar DeRozan in franchise history, whether it was him causing havoc on the defensive end. Gary Trent Jr. shows us his great potential, and he is indeed a rising star. Then you look at a guy like Thad Young. A lot of Raptors fans initially did not like that trade for Thad Young. And I told you in my reaction bit, this was a major pickup for the Toronto Raptors. And you look at what Thad Young has done. He has really changed this team. He is so important to everything this team does well. And you look at him play, especially last night in that win over the Rockets, he makes game-winning plays. He's a veteran. People tend to forget that this dude's, 31 years old? So he's seen a thing or two on the court. And I know Bulls fans are missing Thad Young right now on their team. But you look at what he brings to the table. A guy who can come off the bench and just has a knack for making the right play. So that ended up being a phenomenal get for the Raptors. I mean, and they were able to get rid of a guy in Goran Dragic who was doing nothing on this team anyway. So talk about a win. That was a win. Sticking with a couple more bench pieces here. How about Chris Boucher? He had a very rough start to the season, and many people thought that he might have been dealt at the trade deadline, especially since he's on an expiring deal. But the Raptors decided to keep Chris Boucher, and he has proven to be that energizer from off the bench, a guy who makes the hustle plays. And then you look at Achua, a little bit of a slow start as well, but he's turning fans into believers by the day that they have something special here with Achua. And they got a big get in that Kyle Lowry deal. And a guy in Achua who is going to be a playoff X factor as a guy who can hit that three ball. I mean, he was hitting that three ball a ton in that game against the Sixers, which really gave the Raptors a big advantage in that one. So those are two other guys that have proven a lot of people wrong during the course of this season. And then I left this for last on purpose, and that is Pascal Siakam. But before we do, I quickly want to mention that today's video sponsor is Manscaped, a proud partner of this YouTube channel. You can get any one of Manscaped's great products. All you got to do is go to manscaped.com, use my promo code Luca3, and you will get 20% off plus free shipping. It's as easy as that. Manscaped has the full package you need for spring cleaning this year. The Performance Package 4.0 is the only tool you need to keep your boys looking and smelling like the fresh tulips your partner wants. Make sure you get rid of that foul ball smell with the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver. The Crop Preserver is the anti-shafting ball deodorant and moisturizer, while the Crop Reviver is a spray-on toner for your balls. And the start of spring also marks the start of Testicular Cancer Awareness Month in April. And Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative. So get 20% off plus free shipping with my promo code Luca3 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with my promo code Luca3 at manscaped.com. The guy who proved a lot of people wrong, including myself, for how he responded this season. Pascal Siakam showed that he is who he is. That maybe he just needed the home crowd to fuel him again. Maybe he just needed to be back at home in front of the Scotia Bank Arena fans. Because you look at what Siakam has done this season, he has put forth a very strong All-NBA resume. Pascal Siakam is the first player in Raptors history with 3 straight games of 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. Siakam, who turned 28 last week, is one of 5 NBA players averaging at least 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. The other 4 are MVP candidates in LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka Doncic. And this is the number that really stood out to me. The Raptors have outscored opponents by 252 points with Siakam on the floor. And they've been outscored by 60 with Siakam off the floor. Pascal Siakam showed Raptors fans this season that he is that guy who he was before the bubble. And I know he is going to be under the magnifying glass come that first round of the playoffs, as people are going to want to see if he can continue this hot play when it matters the most in the playoffs, because the first time he led a Raptors team post-Kawhi in the postseason, it did not go the way Raptors fans had hoped. And that's when the Raptors lost in the second round against the Celtics. But if he can carry this play into the playoffs, it's going to solidify Siakam as a guy who is a guy the Raptors can count on when it matters the most. But in terms of this season alone, the regular season that is, Siakam took that step that he needed to. And I said before the season, this was a make or break year for Siakam. And he passed with flying colors. He returned to the Siakam we saw when he made the All-Star team. And Siakam should have been an All-Star this season. But now we'll see if he can at least become All-NBA, as he's making a damn good case to be just that. So Pascal Siakam, another member of this Raptors team who proved a lot of people wrong. That will conclude this piece. Hope you guys enjoyed my commentary. As always, drop a like on the video. It helps out a ton. Please subscribe to the channel for more Raptors and NBA content. Plus, ring the bell. I will be back with my playoff live streams, like I mentioned, next week when the Raptors kick off their first round playoff series. But before then, I'll have my full playoff predictions, so you definitely don't want to miss that. I'll also go more in depth as I preview the Raptors first round playoff matchup. So keep it locked and loaded on the Luca Rosano YouTube channel. Go follow me on social media, all that good stuff and more. As always, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you all again in the next one. Take care.